Cabrini Green Legal Aid is a legal aid organization that serves low-income residents of the city of Chicago. Our attorneys passionately advocate for the rights of their clients, and in our adversarial court system, if one side is underrepresented, justice too often fails. We seek both to level the playing field for our clients and by integrating social services to strengthen them for the long term. And towards that end, we measure not only the legal outcomes of our cases, but also the social condition and improvement of our clients and their families. CGLA operates in many ways like a small law firm. We have a robust process for interviewing potential clients, 4 separate legal practice areas, and 8 attorneys, each with their own clients and court calendar, as well as countless law student interns, paralegals, client surveys to be tallied, and over 450 volunteers each year. Through the course of a year, CGLA will serve over 5,400 individuals facing a legal problem that threatens their home, their family, their livelihood, or their freedom. Prior to going live with our legal server case management system, CGLA had no central system for managing all of our information. We used an antiquated Microsoft Access database designed in the 1990s to track basic client information, and each attorney kept their own calendar and used whatever system they wanted to manage their caseload. It was as if each attorney was a solo practitioner and there was no coordination throughout the organization. When agency-wide data needed to be analyzed or reported on, we were limited to either the most basic of elements or we had to collect data by hand. In 2009, CGLA received an $81,000 grant from the Lawyers Trust Fund of Illinois to purchase and implement the case management software system called Legal Server. Designed specifically for use in legal aid settings, Legal Server has been used around the nation at many legal aid organizations and law firms, and Lawyers Trust Fund had selected a few Illinois agencies to implement the system as well, recognizing the antiquated nature of our existing system. CGLA was excited to receive the grant and begin the implementation process. When CGLA underwent the implementation of the Legal Server software program, it touched virtually every corner of the organization. It was a 9-month process that we undertook and really used the opportunity to evaluate all of our internal processes along the way. It was a cross-section team of employees that adapted and looked at the technology and how it could impact all the different aspects of our services.
Legal Server has been very useful up front because we have to do the screening process, and prior to Legal Server, everything was kind of long-winded, had to memorize screening questions, and it's just really useful because they prep you with the questions beforehand, and I can just enter everything directly in the Legal Server, and it takes a matter of seconds before I can set up an interview, and it's great.
Before Legal Server, we were able to keep track of who our clients were without anything more meaningful behind that case name or the file number. We weren't able to access notes or orders without physically looking at the file. It made it difficult to work off-site on cases without bringing piles of stuff home with you. With Legal Server, we can be at home, do what we need to on our cases, save all the data in one place, and it's much more organized in our services to our clients as a result.
Conflict of interest can be a big deal with attorneys because we have to really take time to ensure that people haven't already been in the office. But with Legal Server, once I type in the name, I just click the conflict check button, and anything that resembles that person, like their date of birth, it may even be like the first 3 initials of their name, it makes sure that they haven't been here, and if it's not a conflict of interest, I just say no conflict, and then I can move forward.
My favorite part about Legal Server is case notes. Before, I would have to physically find one of my 150 plus case files to write my notes in about my phone call or the message I left, and now I'm able to just make a note in Legal Server that's not only available to me, but my partner attorney in the program, the front desk. If somebody calls, it is just so much more time efficient to have Legal Server in place.
When we first met with CGLA, the data was stored in a number of different sources, but there were many people within the organization who owned parts of the data. So what we tried to do was to help them to identify where all of the data lived and then to centralize it into the database that is Legal Server right now. As we were going through that process, we identified a number of different holes where one person thought that another person was tracking something and it wasn't being tracked, or We tried to identify where the gaps were and try to close them. One of the main selling points to Legal Server is that it's a customizable application. With CGLA specifically, they had a client services division of their organization that they wanted to more neatly integrate with their intake services. So what we did was we looked at the way that they were currently serving these people with paper evaluations, and we tried to turn all of that into an electronic process where if clients come in for a legal problem, they can also now within Legal Server get support services through these pre and post evaluations. So they're being evaluated when they first come through the system, as well as when they exit the system, to help provide better feedback to CGLA so that they can tailor those services to their clients better.
In terms of working with the greater legal community, for example, we can access Illinois Legal Aid online. They have hot docs available, which are form templates that will automatically populate based on our client's information, our own attorney information, that makes it much more efficient and speedy in terms of preparation of court filings. We didn't have that capability before. It'd be manually entered or typed up, so it definitely increases the speed at which we're able to create court filings.
We're able to use a lot of the information that we gather through Legal Server in dashboard reports, and those are really useful for internal leadership of the organization and the program staff to understand the changes in their programs and how things are progressing. It's also useful for our board of directors in their management oversight, and ultimately we're able to use all of that data to then also create external reports for funders and for the external audiences and communities that we are raising money from about the work that we do. So we've seen a huge improvement in our internal systems and processes and how that filters out into the larger community as well.